Hey guys, let me just get my iPad set up here so I can see if anyone joins in. I just got some Happy Mail today. Woohoo! These are my stamps from the stamp market. And guys, I have been so obsessed with the stamp market. Like all of their stamps are so gorgeous and so just amazing. I want to play with all of them. So here's what I got. I'm going to move my little water here. I have their diagonal pinstripe background stamp. I don't have a striped background stamp in my stash, and I needed one. This one is so perfect. Hey, Dee. So perfect. So I got one of those. This one was on sale, you guys, for like $4. And look at those florals. I fell in love with this huge little floral here. And then just the other little ones is like the perfect little floral stamp set. And I love all the feels. Hello, dear friend. Thanks so much. Just some really nice general sentiments that you can layer on your card. So I thought this one was a really great buy. And then I've got this really cute one. Guys, this was so cute. I couldn't not get it. These little donuts. There's 2 donuts here, and you have these different sprinkles that you can put on top. It says, yes, sweet thing, and thanks a whole bunch. I thought it was just too adorable. I'm not going to be using this one today. I'm going to be using these 2 together. I have some ideas. But this one also comes with dies. You can cut out the frosting and the donut. So I thought that was really cute. I might do like some Valentine's with this one or something. I don't know. Gonna set that one aside. Hey, Heidi. So glad you guys jumping in here. Okay. So, oh, and then I thought this was cute. It says, I have too many stamps, said no one ever. Too true, right? So I thought that was really cute. So I have been like tracking this package all week, waiting for it to come. It was supposed to come yesterday and it didn't. So I was super bummed, but I got it today. So I'm going to put these 2 stamps together and we're going to create a pretty floral card today. And I thought these would be gorgeous if I watercolored them with some aqua pigments. So we're going to do some watercoloring today and we are going to build us a pretty floral card. So I think I'm going to stamp these out first and then I can stamp out the background. Now, since I want to use my aqua pigments, I'm going to grab aqua pigment paper, and I love that I can emboss on this paper because watercoloring embossed images is my favorite. So we're going to do that. Okay, guys. I got to flip my camera around. I'm so sorry. There we go. And my back. Whoops. Where's my hand? There we go. Okay, and my back, I'm so sorry. It kicked me off already. Can you believe it? YouTube wasted no time kicking me off today. I'm going to emboss these. So I'm going to put some powder down on my paper and just make sure I get a nice clean embossed image. And instead of using embossing ink today, I'm going to be using VersaFine. This is actually a pigment ink, so it dries really slowly. Not slowly, it just takes longer to dry. But since it takes longer to dry, you can emboss over it. And I want to emboss with some of my fairy dust embossing powder. Now I have to admit I was a little confused at first. I thought this was just glitter, but it's actually embossing powder. So I think it adds some glitter on top of any ink that you stamp with. So I'm going to stamp in black and then emboss in this. But actually I lied. No, maybe I will. I was going to do this on the background. Maybe I should do it on the florals as well. I'm trying to think now. Oh, Dee, that's so cool. Been watching some of my videos. I've been trying to do better about getting more videos out there. The videos edited videos take a lot of time to, video something while you create, and then you have to edit it and then do a voiceover, and it's just a lot of steps. So I really love coming live with you guys because I can just hop on here and interact with all of you, and then my video is up. There's no editing, but sometimes edited videos are nice because they're a little bit more polished. I can cut the time down. You guys don't have to wait for me to stop talking and just get to the card. But yeah, so that's cool. You used your fairy dust embossing powder, Heidi. I'm trying to get my set. Yeah, I know. The edited videos is a lot of work. The lives are really fun because we can kind of get to know you and talk with each other and all that. So that's really, I like the lives. But there is a place for edited videos as well. So I've been trying to do better about putting both on my channel. So like, let me know if there's anything you guys want to see. If there's any new stamps, new products coming out that you want to see me use, or a technique maybe you want me to do and edit that video so it's kind of like a shorter video. I am always up for challenges, and I love to hear from you guys to know what you guys want to see. So yeah, just let me know. All right, so I'm just going to layer all of my florals on here. I don't have any coordinating dies for these, so I'm just going to layer them on here. My thought is I'm going to stamp them, watercolor them, and then fussy cut them out. So I'm just putting them on here. I'm not worried about, you know, what they look like. I'm just kind of try to get as many on the page as I can. And I'm also going to stamp out the leaves because I always love to layer on leaves as well. Got too much stuff on my desk right here. Gotta shove some things around. Okay. So I'm trying to think, do I want to sparkle my flowers as well? I think I just want them black. I don't want them sparkly because I'm gonna watercolor them. I want the background to sparkle. So I'm going to grab my icicle embossing powder right here. It's always right on the top and I can never see it. So I'm gonna grab my icicle and then I'm gonna stamp this out with my VersaFine, just like I'm planning to do with my background. Why is this sticking? Okay. We'll flip that over because obviously there's something sticky on it. And then I'm going to emboss over this with my icicle embossing powder. Now this is the very first time I'm stamping these out. Usually the first time you stamp with any stamp, you don't get all that great of an impression just because it hasn't been like seasoned, you know. So definitely if you're stamping the first time, use your Misty, or make sure you stamp it off on a piece of scratch paper or something just to kind of get it primed, because you can see it hasn't quite stamped out fully, especially that little leaf down there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it again. But that's one thing I love about my Misty is I don't have to worry about it. I am just able to stamp as many times as I want to get a good impression. There we go. And also when you stamp on watercolor paper, sometimes it takes a little bit more stamping because it's a little bit textured. So, yep. Love my Misty too. I do use a stamp block occasionally, especially if I'm getting kind of lazy about grabbing my Misty and I just want to put it on a block. A lot of times for small sentiments, if I just want to put a sentiment on a little strip of paper, I'll just use a block. But for most of my stamping like this, definitely grab my Misty. I'm kind of thinking about getting like a mini Misty because I think those would be kind of handy too. All right, so I need to stamp a little bit more in here. That's looking not so great. Is my screen like really choppy for you guys? Okay, there it kind of I just looked over at my screen and I'm like, that looks terrible, really blurry. Wonder if it's like my internet connection today or something. Who knows? YouTube's always having problems too. Yeah. It will be splotchy. Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure how to make better internet quality videos when I do live. I think it depends on our internet, and I'm gonna stamp that out again. And my camera. Oh, your block. Okay, good. I'm glad the internet's not splotchy. I was gonna say, I think it depends on my phone camera quality, you know, which my phone, we got it shortly after Amelia was born, so it's getting close to 2 years now. Okay, so I have stamped these thoroughly. I'm gonna remove this and sprinkle some of that icicle embossing powder so we can emboss and move on with our watercoloring. Okay, here's my coffee filter. Here's my icicle. I'm like all over the place today, you guys. I'm just excited to be playing with some new stamps. It's always fun when I get my new stamps like on a Friday right before nap time, because it's like, yeah, the weekend's coming, my kids are going down for a nap, and I can play a little bit. Woo. Let's just dump the whole bottle on today. Tap off the extra. I think that's gonna look fantastic. Okay, so I gotta put all of this back in my jar. Very carefully. And once I'm done here, I will add the links if you guys are interested in looking at any of these items that I'm using. So I'll add the links in my description once I'm done. You got a scanning cut. Woo! That's gonna be fun. I looked at the Scanning Cut DX at Creativation and it was pretty amazing. You can't fussy cut for poo. I hear ya. I'm not too bad with the fussy cutting, but I just hate it. Honestly, I do it a lot because I like the look of having items cut out and layered and all that, but I hate doing it. So I've been thinking about getting a scanning cut just to cut out the stamps and things that I don't have dies for, but honestly, I've got 3 die cutting machines already. I know the Scan and Cut does something different than my other ones do, and I love it. I loved seeing the new one at Creativation because I loved the fact that it has one blade. You don't have to buy a deep cut blade. You don't have to buy any other blade except for the one blade, because I have a Cricut and the deep cut blades are expensive, I'm not gonna lie, and yeah, they're just, I like that you have that ease of just one blade. You don't have to worry about remembering which blade you have in there and, you know, which one to put in. It kind of does that for you, and it can scan and cut basically anything. Yeah, it's amazing, but I don't know if I'm ready to take the plunge and get one yet. I'm sure I will someday, but right now my craft room space is a little limited. I know, does this look so detailed and pretty? I love it. I am a sucker for huge florals. So I saw this, I saw it was on sale for like $4, and I'm like, there's no way I can pass that one up. Okay, so I added a little bit of water here just to wet my paper so that when I drop in some color, it's going to kind of spread and give it a lighter look. Now I just want to figure out what color do I want to use. Do I want to make like some light pink peonies. There's some fuchsia, that's always pretty. I could go light blue. Oh, thanks, Dee. I enjoy watercoloring. I like just that light finish that it gives. All right, why don't we go with some, I'm just gonna go pink, I think. Here's some coral. Isn't coral like Pantone's color of the year? Maybe we should do something like that. Okay. Hey, Monique. So glad to see you. We're playing with some stamps from the stamp market today. Really fun. So let's see. Oops. Let's do some magenta. I'm just going to squirt this out onto my media mat because it's so easy to clean up. And I'm just going to drop a little bit of color in. And see, I already wet my paper. So hopefully you can see just that color spreads all by itself. And I'm just adding color down here where it would be the darkest. And then I'm just letting it kind of move all by itself. I'm not really, I'm pushing it out a little bit to get it started, but I'm really kind of just going to let it do its own thing. I think watercolor kind of tends to do its own thing anyway. So why not let it just do what it wants and look amazing? So I'm going to put some more water on here. I think I let it set a little bit so that water started to soak in. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water to some of my petals. I like this bright fuchsia. I think I'm also going to add a few other colors in here and get some contrast going, but I'm going to let this first layer kind of dry a little bit before I do that. And embossing before you watercolor, I feel it really helps me stay in the lines because you have that little raised embossed edge that kind of holds that color in. Oh, have a good day, Dee. Thanks for saying hi and stopping by. I always love to see you guys. Well, talk to you guys. I guess I don't really see you. You see my hands. I believe you really guys, you don't want to see my face right now. I am rocking the mom hair. Yeah, drive safety. And I'm just going to color this little corner here and maybe this one because those petals are kind of curled up. So they're going to be a little bit darker because they have more of a shadow on them. So I'm going to drop in some color there. And I'm just going to go ahead and add color to my other flowers here. So I'm going to drop in some color here to these little blooms. So gorgeous. I visited the stamp market booth at Creativation, and oh my goodness, I was like going crazy over everything. Just gorgeous stamps. And they've got some fun things coming out soon. The donut stamps that I showed you, those are new. They did a really cute shaker card with the donuts. Like, they made it look like a donut box. I thought that was really cute. So on this bloom, I did not add any water down first. I'm just adding the color. So we'll see if we see much of a difference. This one's a little bit smaller of a flower. But I love that these are still really nice, large florals. All right. And let's add some fuchsia to this little one. Now I am going to cut these out, so not too worried about going out of the lines, but over here especially, I'm going to have to leave, I think, some room while I fussy cut, or I could just cut it off and use that leaf somewhere else, but we'll see. Okay, so now I have all of these kind of colored. I'm just going to drag out some of this color here. Try not to think too much about my watercoloring. I think it looks really nice if it just looks really quick and natural, sort of. Okay, and then I want to drop in some different colors to get a little bit of a contrast. So I want something a little darker. So I do have this fuchsia, or I could go for a little bit more contrast and use, I mean, you could drop in some blue. Blue can blend really nicely with red tones, makes a little bit of a purple. You could do some violets. So I'm kind of thinking about doing like a bluish purple maybe. Here we go, blue violets. Ooh, the monthly subscription. I'm excited. I haven't seen the inspiration box yet. I am excited to see that. I believe Christopher is showing maybe the February stuff tomorrow night. I could be wrong, but I feel like he just mentioned in our inspiration group that he might be showing that tomorrow night. So, yeah. But he's might be going live tonight. I'm not sure. I guess just stay tuned and see. We'll see. But he'll be showing them soon. I already have the stencil for February, which is fantastic. I haven't seen what's in the inspiration box yet. And I'm really intrigued because I saw the pin he showed the other night and I thought it was really cute, that little envelope. So I'm excited to see what February's inspiration box looks like. I'm always excited for the stamp sets. See what the new stamp sets are. Oh, thanks, Heidi. I always gravitate towards blues and pinks and purples. Sometimes it's nice for me to get on here and ask you guys what colors you want to see, because you sometimes pick colors that I wouldn't, and helps me sort of break out of the box and do something a little bit different than I usually would. Because I know y'all suggested me using yellow on one card that I did for a floral, and it turned out really amazing. But yeah, usually I just do the purples and the pinks. They're my favorite. You guys seem to sort of get stuck in your own sort of color palette and reach for the same colors all the time. I mean, it's not a bad thing to know your style and know what you like and go with it. But I also really like to kind of stretch myself sometimes and try to use new colors or new products. Yes, I'll definitely be using this again. So I'll have to try to use oranges and yellows. I'm just trying to add a little bit more color here. And then I might hit it with my heat tool dry it a little bit, and then we'll see what it looks like, and maybe I'll do another wash of like a lighter pink over it, perhaps. See what happens, see what it looks like. Now when I color my florals, I always like to start where it would be darkest, so like at the, you know, bottoms of the petals, and like kind of pull that color out. So I'm not too worried about all of the shading, but I kind of like to just drop my color in from where it would be darkest, and then just let the color spread out on its own. It makes it look, I think, a little bit more natural. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with my heat tool. Hi, Eliza. Thanks for joining us. Ooh, I love the mahogany color of Distress Inks. Heidi, that's one of my favorite dark reds. I think I like, I haven't used my Distress Inks for a while, but I definitely love ink blending my reds together, I remember. Now I can't think of all the colors, but I used to use the mahogany for the darkest color, like right on the edges, and it really helped it kind of pop, stand out. Okay, I'm looking for my pink. I want my lightest pink color. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna take a little bit of this, just a tiny bit, and really water it down. And just kind of add a little bit of this pink wash over and pull that color out, because I left these edges white. I wanted it to sort of look like a natural highlight, but now I'm going to color in a little bit with this lightest pink. It's going to kind of smooth out some of those harsher edges and kind of get those colors blending together. And you're still going to get that lighter highlight on the edge of your petals, but you're going to keep that highlight, because it's not going to totally, totally cover it up, if that makes sense. And watercolors, you can just kind of keep adding layers to, let it dry, add some more layers. They blend together because they react with water. So they're just really they're really fun medium to play with. If you put too much color down, you can add some clean water and then kind of sop it up with a towel, and that'll remove some of that color if you get too much. So lots of fun things you can do with the watercolor. They're really versatile. Did you like what happened with all of your ink blending, Heidi? Did you like the results, or were you kind of like, because I've done that before where I'm like, oh, this is gonna look great, and then at the end I'm like, I think I need to practice that one a little bit more. You know what would really, really pretty is not even doing layers of watercolor, just dropping on a little tiny bit of this light pink, just kind of like a little bit, so you don't get very much saturation. It's just a really light flower. Maybe I should try that next time, along with the yellows and the reds. All right, so there's my flowers. I think I'm just gonna leave it. I mean, I could drop in a little bit more color if I wanted to. Now I kind of want to because I'm thinking about it. Let's drop in some more of this magenta. Just add one more layer. I'm not even gonna wait for all of this to dry. I'm just gonna pick some up and drop some in just down here. Really quickly. Now all these colors are kind of starting to blend together. Starting to look really bright, which isn't a bad thing, but if you guys follow my cards at all, you know I like the really light colors, a really clean and simple kind of cards. But I'm kind of liking this. Some of these petals got a little purple though. I was going for more pink, so I'm gonna put some more of this. Was it fuchsia? No, it's magenta. I keep thinking fuchsia for some reason. Like this one got really purple. Yesterday I made a card. I don't know if you guys saw, I posted it on my Instagram. It's on my blog too. I didn't do a video or anything for it, but it was a little bug card, Lawn Fawn, Bugs and Kisses, really cute. So I ink blended, I tried to do a night sky and I used a lot of purples and I think it turned out really well. I kind of liked how it turned out. But I thought it was funny because my son, he's 4, and if I make a card that he really likes, he sees it, he's like, Mom, did you make this for me? And every time he asks that, I'm like, I can't say no. So I'm like, yeah, I thought maybe you'd like it. He's like, oh, thanks. And he'll take the card if he likes it and he'll run to his room and put it on his dresser. So he's starting this little collection of cards that he thinks are his. But it's cute. So usually he'll steal my bug cards or my rocket ship cards, or he stole a dinosaur card from me today. But it's really cute. Just to see how he likes my cards. Okay, so when you have embossed your images that you are watercoloring on and you want to speed up the drying process with your heat tool, perfectly fine to do, but just give it a second or two to dry again, because when you heat it up again with that heat tool to dry your colors, you will heat up your embossing powder again, and it might get a little bit tacky, a little bit soft again. So if you go ahead and touch it right away, it could smear. So I'd just say give it a second or two, wave it around until it cools down, and then you're good to go. So I'm actually debating now if I really want to color my leaves or just leave them black and white and have the pink and the purple the only colors showing on my card, because I think that would be kind of cool. So I'm going to set that aside while I decide. I don't want to color it before I decide. And then let's go ahead and stamp out our background, because I'm excited to do this fairy dust embossing powder. I actually haven't used it yet because I totally thought it was glitter. It looks like straight up glitter, but it's embossing powder. And so I'm going to try it. I want to see if it's kind of like icicle with a little bit of shimmer in it, because I think it will be really fun. Okay. I'm going to put this back in the sheet until I use them again, which I totally will be using them again. Maybe even today, later. I do have a few other stamps that I just got, so maybe I need to give them some love too before I just go all crazy with this stamp set. Okay. So set that aside, and ta-da! I love this. Love, love, love this pinstripe background. All right, I'm gonna peel the backer off of this. And you know what, before I do that, I'm gonna grab a piece of cardstock. Do I have one here? This might not be the right size, but we'll go with it because we can always cut it down. What size is this anyway? Well, it's about 4 1/4. It's about the right size, so we'll go with that. Perfect. Okay, so the only thing is when I'm doing a background stamp and I already have my paper cut down to size, it's a little bit hard to do it in your MISTI because it likes to come up and you can't use magnets to keep it down. So I do add a little bit of adhesive to the back, just kind of glue it down to my MISTI. That seems to work okay for me. So I need to move these. I'll move them over here. Make sure my stripes are straight before I pick it up. Oops. Oh, that's not going to work. All right, so we need to get rid of these magnets. And pick up our stamp. Okay, so that makes me a little nervous. I think it's going to move around. So, grab my little magnets and just put these around the edges. Try to keep my paper down. I need to go ahead and get myself some of those bar magnets from MISTI because those work, I think, will work better. All right, and since I'm embossing this, let's put down some powder. Try to get a nice embossed image. And I'm also going to use my VersaFine again. All right. Okay, it cut me off again, but I'm back now, guys. We can stamp out our stripes. I'm trying to make sure I get this one all nice and inked up. And let's stamp it out. Oh, how cool is that? I love it. See, I'm really kind of scared that it's gonna move on me and I'm not gonna get a nice. The only thing with the background stamps, I probably shouldn't make a bigger piece of paper. So that I can cut it down to size instead of having it all cut down. Okay, let's see if this will work. Get this area that didn't stamp. And let's see what it looks like. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, let's make sure we get this back where it can go. And let's try doing that one more time. I could probably cover up those little areas with my flowers, but I'm gonna try to make sure it's all nice and stamped out. And then we'll get a nice embossed sparkle in the background with our fairy sparkle embossing powder. I think that'll be great. Okay. I love the stripes. Love them. Okay. Let me find my coffee filter. And let's try out some of this sparkle fairy dust. Can you guys see the sparkle? Love it. Okay. Okay, I can already tell this is gonna look amazing. I'm getting excited. So do you guys have any plans for the weekend? You guys gonna do some crafting? Anything else fun going on with you guys? We don't have too much going on. We've got some rain coming in, I think, so it might be an indoors kind of weekend. Let's put all that sparkle back into the jar. I do like when Bruce Monroe made these jars wider, because it's easier to kind of pour that sparkle, that embossing powder back in there. All right, I am loving this sparkle. Can you guys see this sparkle? Maybe it's kind of hard. Like, I know if I look over on my screen at the stripes, it makes my eyes go a little bit batty. So I apologize for that, if that's happening to you. But then, how cool is this gonna look to layer on these flowers? All right, so maybe I do want to color these now that I look at this black and white background. I'm gonna make these leaves sort of a yellowish green. So I'm gonna take my yellow green. Hey Dee! Thanks for stopping back in. We just did our background, embossed it with our fairy dust. And now I'm putting some color on these leaves. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm putting some green on here because green and purple, they pop. They pop together. Those are great colors to use together if you really want to make them pop. And I'm liking it. So, yay. All right. I'm not going to do a whole lot of crazy watercoloring on these leaves here. Just going to kind of cover them. And you know what? If you find you squirted out too much aqua pigment that you don't need, just suck it up with your dropper. Put it back into your bottle. No need to waste any. You can save every last drop. I have to do my towel. Here it is. Let's go ahead and dry those. So Dee, I used, the colors I used was magenta. I used a little bit of pink. I used magenta and I think I did blue violet. Now I can't find it, but I did blue violet. Where's my blue violet? Here it is. So I used these 3 colors on my flower. And then I just used a yellow green on the leaves. So that's what my, what do you call it? My flowers are. And I gotta find my scissors now, and let's go ahead and cut these out. And like I was talking about earlier, fussy cutting's not my favorite, but I think it looks great when it's done. So I do it a lot. I'm not sure if this stamp set had coordinating dies or not. Sometimes as much as I want the dies, sometimes I don't order them because these images weren't that crazy. I figured I could probably cut them out pretty well on my own. Save myself a few bucks on fussy cutting, but the dies would be great too. I love getting the coordinating dies. Let me hold my scissors correctly. Maybe that will help with the fussy cutting. I have to say, it's kind of funny when I do live, I keep looking over at my screen over here, obviously to see you guys comments and everything, but I also like to look at my card and see what it's looking like on the screen, because I don't know if you guys have done this before, but sometimes if you take a picture of your card or just look through your screen at it, it gives you, I think, like a different perspective on what your card looks like. So sometimes it kind of helps me figure out, you know, if I like it, if I don't like it, like what's going on. So I kind of like to keep glancing over at my screen to see where I want to put all my stuff. I'm kind of worried, not worried, but I'm kind of wondering if the stripes are going to be really, really bold. I mean, they're going to be really bold, but I wonder if they're going to be too much. Like maybe I put a piece of over it and kind of tone it down a little bit. I mean, stripes and florals are definitely my favorite. Not gonna lie. All right, and here's this one. Figure out where to layer all of these. Maybe this one can go up here behind. Now this is going to be the tricky one to kind of cut out because it's got that thin little stem there. So I'm going to leave a little bit of white around that stem to give it a little bit more stability. Also, I'm not crazy and I don't like cutting around thin lines, but I did a card the other day and I have the video posted. It's my Lucky Friends card with Heffy Doodle. And I love the way it turned out, but guys, that was a lot of fussy cutting. like all of those shamrocks. It was a lot, let me tell you. So I'm gonna see, where do I want this one to kind of stick out? Maybe I want to move my flowers down a little bit. That might look nice. Kind of in the middle more. And then cut out some of these flowers. Oh, no problem, Heidi. I'm glad you're back. I was wondering, it was kind of quiet for a while. I'm like, did my friends leave me? But no worries. Life happens. I'm always afraid I'm going to have to like jump off here quick if my kids are, wake up from nap or, something happens. But so far, so good. Thanks, Heidi. I'm really liking it. You guys tell me if you think that this stripes are too bold or like making your eyes go batty. I'm thinking about putting some like a background of vellum behind it to kind of tone it down a little bit. But we'll see. We will see. And I'm probably also going to trim down the background and then pop it up on a white card base. I'm just laying out my leaves right now. I don't know exactly where I want them, but I might put this green one down here so it can kind of offset that one on the top. Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm going to grab a piece of vellum and just see what it looks like. Because I love my vellum.